Hello. Hey, watching Sip Sip with Egan. This episode is very special. I have this, how you say, old friend, collaborator, fellow comrade in the art scene. Wait, itu berapa tahun lo? Okay. Hazli Bojili.
Yes,
How are you?
I'm good.
Saya selalu starstruck nih kalau jumpa dia. Even when you were with Greenleaf, kan kamu selalu bikin all this. I mean, that time you were doing some kind of a training di Youth Prep Alam Mesra, and then we saw you guys and I saw a lot of people commenting on your various posts yang bilang you're very inspiring to the young. I think I'm not exaggerating kalau saya bilang not only the young, yang tua dari kau, yang way tua dari kau pun kadang-kadang macam I wish I can do what he does. And ya, tidak banyak orang macam kau sini. I mean, business, acting. Can you dance?
Not really.
And we obviously see the physique on social media, which is
Because not today, right?
kind of disappointed about that.
Keeping it PG-13 lah, ha?
So, okay. Coba kau cerita. We go back to Greenleaf lah.
Okay,
I'm really
okay.
interested because I interviewed Jasmine.
Yeah.
You're a very good friend, kan?
Yes, very good friend.
And her vision was very interesting, but I believe yours is something juga lah. Coba kau.
Yeah, Jasmine and I started together lah, kan? We were the ones who started this Greenleaf Theatre. At first, we were just a group of friends who we were close even before Greenleaf. So we got together and then we were like so much into the theatre. We love theatre and we love acting. And then we got together and then we said, okay, let's do a play. And then, but then that time we were learning also like, oh yeah, it's better to have an organisation and then like easier to get permits and all these things. But because before that, we do anything pun, you know lah, like haram punya jenis kan, yang you just do. And then being in the art scene, you know lah, like, you know, kasih jalan saja, right? It's like, kalau kena tangkap, okay lah, bukan nasib kau lah. But then, anyway, we were going through that and then jumpa each other and then we found out that there was not really a formally registered contemporary theatre NGO.
Yes.
In Sabah at that time, it was 2009 when we decided to like, we decided to like, oh, okay, mari kita like get together. So 2009, we got together, we sat in a random, in a kitchen, and like got our first proto meeting on, submitted that all to ROS, and then April 2010, we got our cert lah. We got our cert to become a formally registered NGO. Theatre, yeah, that was like 2010. So 11 years lah kan, sudah? 11 years formally, not counting the illegal years lah. So then after that, when we were more formal, everything easier for us to collaborate with, you know, like other youth groups, with the government agencies and all these things. And then basically at that point of time, if you ask why did we do Greenleaf, it's just because a bunch of us like to get together, tell stories and explore theatre as a medium, because we feel like it's a totally untapped scene, especially in Sabah at that time.
Betul.
Yeah, and then we feel like a lot of times masa itu pun masih Friendster baru mau mati, Facebook baru mau naik. So like
Banyak gambar sih tidak safe.
I think the social media was catching up, but the medium of conversation was very lacking ba dulu. And so we were like, okay, I mean, I don't know if I think I'm allowed to say this right now because there's no government. But anyway, that time was like, kalau you want to, if you're not careful with what you say, what you do, it means just tangkap bah. You know, you go,
True.
you go to jail and everything. And then being a art activist myself, when I was studying, berapa kali kena kejar police and everything. So you know, cardio is very important lah. You need to be able to run away. So So
Kalau saya fail, geng.
I mean, we did like mobs on the train and everything. Itu dulu punya cerita lah. Then got back to Sabah and then we were like, okay, we need a medium of conversation that can slowly open people's minds. And because, you know, theatre is fiction, however you want to look at it. But if you really look deep into it, fiction is always inspired by something that's around you. So yeah, I think that's how all of us got together and we just wanted to tell stories that were relatable. So that's why all our plays were original plays. Meaning to say we never really picked up you know, like people pick up Shakespeare, pick up this and that. We just basically say, okay, what story do you want to tell now? What's relevant to the community now? Because we felt like our responsibility was to talk for the community using theatre as a medium. So it depends on how you take it lah. So that's how we got together and started Greenleaf, and that was the whole, to me, the whole intention of Greenleaf Theatre House. Basically, is just to be that medium of conversation.
What was your opinion? How? What was your perspective on what was happening around Sabah
During that time?
Yeah, like okay lah, your environment, and also a big chunk of part of it is like kita punya hiburan macam RTM 1, RTM 2, Astro. Was that like something yang mencetus kau mau bikin Greenleaf kah? Because your script, your acting is very not what you see. I mean, yeah lah, people are new with theatre sini kan.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. Well, I mean, if you talk about mainstream media that we have, I mean, even though you can say Astro is private, you know, and then like RTM and all Media Prima and all is government, like not, you know, saying anything bad about what they screen, but it's just that stories that are told there are basically based on a lot of guidelines, a lot of things that, you know, that they have to follow, and we understand why you have to follow, because when you screen something so publicly, especially on RTM and all, you have to put out content that is preferably 99.9% not offending anyone. So yes, so that's why I'm giving you now 99.9 and not so much percent here. Okay, but anyway, so I feel macam like that time, I think that was the issue, because whenever we watch movies and all, we're like, sometimes you feel you relate to the story to a certain level, but then somehow you also feel like actually there's some things that are really untold. Some things that actually sebenarnya bukan begitu bah. But how can you talk about it? You know, it's not like we can have any control over the media that's going on, the TV and everything. And I mean, our stories, we try to keep it as down to earth lah. As down to earth as possible, and tell it as it is. Yeah, you know, like conversations in coffee shops, that can be our inspiration, because that's when people really talk. You know, conversations, yeah, conversations in when you pergi gunting rambut pun bah. The barber cerita with you, that's real life conversation. What you see on TV is basically all just written to create a fantasy. But then sometimes I think because of that we forget about the stories we have in reality. So I think that's what Greenleaf did. And if you ask back to your question about what do you think, I think of that time was a lot of real stories were untold. And it's just sad, because then we always try to escape from something that we are surrounded by. Yeah, so I think at that time we felt that we could take this small little role to at least make people more aware that, you know, we can talk about these things, you know, and we can have conversations about these things through theatre. So I think that's what it was lah.
Shit, okay. Oh.
That was 10 years ago. No, 11.
Kenapa? Oh, saya lupa off.
Nah, kau tidak edit ni, saya tahu ni.
Sorry.
10 minutes lah.
Power off. Okay, sorry.
Okay.
That's not mine. Phone kau sudah mati. Oh, okay. Nah.
Wah, macam buat HIIT kau punya kamera ni semua. Interval trainings.
Oh ya kah?
Dia lari terus dah sekejap. Baru dia lari balik.
Oh ya.
Ada stamina.
So yang saya buat sama si Chris hari itu. Oh my god.
Berapa kali lah?
15 minit. 2 kali.
Macam tu kamera lah 15 minit je.
Tu sakit. Joke dalaman. Okay, we go back to there's a lot of things yang saya mau tanya pasal theater ni because I am so into that when I was in KL studying.
Oh, okay.
Suka tengok lah. I love the feel of you going in, buying tickets, sitting down, but because it feels like the movies but not.
Yes.
So first yang saya betul-betul berminat sama kamu kan when you were doing that LGBT QIA++.
A lot of plus nowadays, yeah.
Yeah. The I mean, no offense to you guys yang LGBTQ. I mean, we have a lot of allies and we're okay with that. But I love that theater yang kamu bikin with Jasmine punya
Jasmine
adik,
punya
siapa namanya?
sister, si Jacinta.
Jacinta, sorry.
Yeah.
That was really powerful.
Girl in boy skin, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that was the title?
That's the title. Girl in
siapa
boy
sah?
skin, yeah.
So, end of the... Wih, nakambang sa dulu siya. End of the...
Bukan pasal lekon kan?
No, this is something different. Because end of the theater, apa ba ko panggil? End of the show, something lah. Dia pergi straight to the audience and saya sangat dekat ni sama dia time tu. Terus dia tunjuk, ini kamu punya salah lah, saya punya hidup begini. Dia bilang kan, I forgot what the line was. Tapi dia cakap, sekarang saya terpaksa kerja melacur. Dia bilang, begini punya kerja yang teruk because of you. Dia bilang, and she was talking about society lah. And I really felt like, yes, it's my fault. Because I have a different perspective on Bapok, Pondan, half and half, Dua Alam. I used to call all these names. And I guess when I was growing up, I mean, I told Jasmine I had that really bad past when I was raped.
Yeah.
And that time, I really feel like saya memang orang tengok kau begitu habis kau pun macam Pondan, dia bilang. Terus yang I really feel like I don't know, I was kinda I felt what they feel. Yang apa dia orang punya trauma segala ni kan, habis macam saya rasa I can relate to it. And when they say it's and when I kunun jadi normal balik, I hated these type of people. And then when she said ini semua salah kau, I really feel that. I really thought that we need to do something about this because people tidak faham apa ni Bapuk, Pondan semua fikir. And first is the names that you call them.
Yeah.
How you address dirang. I mean, yes, there's a lot of
Terms for them. Yeah.
yeah, and there's a lot of how you say technicalities yang memang ini barang begitu kau punya nama. Tapi you don't have to say it.
I mean the way it's said, I think is more of the issue. Like it's said with a lot of animosity, with a lot of hate because you just don't understand what it is. Then that's how the word will come across, bah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I betul lah kau cakap the issues yang kamu present through theatrics, through this medium sangat membantu orang untuk nampak isu semasa masyarakat dengan lagi terang, dengan lagi tersuluh. But the only thing yang I was disappointed about is how people don't get theater sini. I mean, baby steps lah kan.
Yeah, baby steps.
Memang kenapa sikit je orang datang? Kenapa?
Yeah.
It's the usual crowd that time.
Yeah.
And that's the library.
Yes.
Can you cerita sikit about that? I love that place.
The library, So basically, okay, we're talking about how we started performing here lah kan. So we started off.
Memang you start di library lah.
No, we actually started off in a shop lot church.
Oh.
We started off in a shop lot church. So it's like a church which is one shop lot which can only sit about 15 people, 20 people at one time. And then our performing space is basically very small lah. Very small. So that's where we first started our show. Then after that we say, okay, mari we find other places. But then knowing our content, right? Our content is not exactly ones that gives you all the butterflies and everything lah. We make it as real as we can, like I said. So sometimes, because people are afraid of, I think people are just afraid of reality. And then there's something that people will always try to run away from or don't want to face. I mean, all of us have that. Even I have that, like certain things we just don't want to face, don't want to talk. But then how far can we run? And that's why I feel like when we do those kind of plays, sometimes people, they just, they can't face it. And then like you say, like, people feel macam, they don't appreciate theatre. But then as we went on, we really realized that, there is some form of interest in theatre. So we went to naik level lah kunun, pergi library. Wah, besar sikit, boleh sudah 40 orang masuk. So, so like, but then because only 40 people can go, we do like 5 to 6 shows. So like one night after another. And then sometimes like
5 to 6 shows in...
no lah, like usually if 3 days, then sometimes it's afternoon, evening. If within 2 weekends, it's like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, then the next Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Okay.
So we'll do lah.
A lot of work.
Kita buat, yeah. And then, I mean like, but we enjoyed it. That's the thing, was we enjoyed it. And because this group of friends really felt like it wasn't a work. I think like when it's really passion, and it wasn't done to earn money, to pay baji and all this. It was just done because we love doing it. And so for each show we do, I would say macam the crowd does grow. And then like we always get to sell off our shows. So macam, of course there are sometimes mungkin not lah full house, maybe kurang 3-4 orang, the seats not taken. But then usually people come, and because people always tell us that when you do these kind of shows, nobody will come. But for the past...
Siapa yang cakap semua begitu?
Banyak. Like even people who are in the scene themselves bah. So that's why kadang-kadang you feel like macam, okay. You'll be like, but then I think that's where, passion and, managing your work in a more in a more proper way in terms of thinking of how you reach out to people, how you actually communicate. Because kadang-kadang artists, I feel, sorry artists di luar, but artists sometimes I feel you are very passionate. We are very passionate. There's so many things we want to talk about. But we have to remember, people that watch our shows are not necessarily passionate people. But we still want them to watch our show, because if not, you have work to show, but no one to see. I heard a click.
Itu.
Belum 15 minit, kau ni tidak cukup exercise.
Matai.
Okay. So, where was I? Yeah. So macam we find that, a big chunk of the job is not just about us developing the place, it's us getting people to attend and appreciate. Because when they attend, then they actually understand what they're seeing. So a lot of people that came were first timers to theatre also. Yeah. So that's when we were like, this is the people we want to target. So at the end of the day, the library too is like, where got anything? Library is just an empty hall. So tiada screen, tiada apa. So I think the most famous thing people know us for is the mahjong paper.
Yes. Dinding dari mahjong
paper. So like, there's no backstage. And then tiada budget. So we're like, macam mana mau buat dinding putih ni? Terus I think one of us said, mahjong paper boleh bahkan? And we were like, huh?
Yeah, but was that stapled or sellotape?
Tidak lah, teruk sangat stapler. We sellotape bah.
Lagi teruk.
Sellotape at least dia tidak kedut lah kan.
Because kalau macam kamu tengah prep gitu kan, yang macam mana dong buat di kejap mahjong paper berarti because it's square kan. So, macam mana dia kasih lakat dia dong. Terus yang jadi perbincangan bayang, how do you do this installation?
Then after that it's like, pergi tengok lampu berapa? 5,000, 10,000 kan, kind of lighting, for kami bilang. Terus kami pergi lah kedai lampu. Bolehkah kau pasang wire kasih dimmer saja? So people, I mean like, we find ways.
Yeah.
And then so just because to us all of that is not important. All of what's the most important thing is the storytelling.
Yes.
So if you have a story to tell, everything else is secondary. So I think that was our main focus lah. It was like, what's the story we want to tell? How much are we into it? So usually people who perform for the performance pun kan are people who are really attached to that particular story juga, because then they really want to tell that story. Because you yourself, if you perform the same thing for 6 times to 6 different audiences kan, you discover a lot of things about yourself as a performer juga. Because the beauty about theatre, like you said with the cinema, tidak sama kan, because every show is different. Right, every show is different. You can come to all 6 shows, you may know what's going to happen, but the emotion and certain reactions that you get in every show is very different. Especially from the actors, because really how we do it is always what does your character feel at that moment. We don't direct it in a way how a TV should be directed. If your character feels like crying on Saturday night, you cry on Saturday night. If on Sunday night your character feels like whatever was happening that time was actually not sad, was actually stupid and funny, you laugh lah. So that's the beauty of theatre, you see. It's because, and again, it's like real life. People expect you to cry at something, but to you it might not be something you want to cry about. So how can you force that kind of emotion to people ba? And that's what I felt about a lot of movies, shows, and things that were set up. It's set up. So sometimes you forget to be just vulnerable to the piece. So I think that's why when Greenleaf came, we said we want to be this kind of a storyteller. That it's okay, you know? Tidak boleh yang kau, I mean, yalah, that was the approach lah. So in the library, even though it was begitu, but we enjoyed our time in the library lah.
Yes.
Yeah. Then only eventually after that, we upgrade lagi sikit, pergi museum, besar sikit, right? Then we went to like, then we managed to get into JKKN.
I missed that.
We went to JKKN, and then we even went to Sutra, the cinema.
Really?
Yeah. Like we went there. But we like venues that are more flexible. That's why when the black box came about 2-3 years ago too, we were like, oh my, so happy. But then now the black box is going with its own struggles also, just to be there. And we are trying our best to see what we can do also, to see what we can help with the black box. But KK needs this kinds of space lah, I feel. Really need, yeah.
You're involved with KKIFF?
Yes, I am
Kota
involved.
Kinabalu International Film Fest.
Yes.
How Because of theatre?
Yeah, because our festival director is Jude Day. So hi Jude.
I hope you're watching.
I don't know if you're watching. But okay. So what happened is she is one of our regulars. Whenever we stage a play, she will come together with her husband. They will always be there for all our plays. And eventually one day she was just looking for a festival manager. We don't know each other that much. We just know as, she comes for the show, and I know her as an audience. And suddenly one day she called me out for a drink and then talked to me whether I want to work together with her, because the previous festival manager with her for the first, I think initial 3 years of KKIFF decided to like let go, and she said she needed someone to be with her to help her. So I was like, yeah, why not? So that's how I got in lah. Gitu saja lah. So you see, yeah.
Okay, kita tukar pergi film sudah lah sekarang kan. Producer bilang. You okay?
No.
You take 5?
I'm okay.
Okay.
Okay kah?
Siapa orang ada?
Yeah, bagus lah. You have a movie coming up. I mean,
Yes.
atau keluar sudah?
Belum, hari tu baru sejak pre-screening for press and Finas.
Oh.
So it's only coming out in cinemas.
Kasih promo.
Coming out in cinemas 3rd of December this year. Hopefully MCO tiada tambah teruk lah. It's supposed to actually premiere April this year. We're supposed to have a nationwide tour
I
promoting
saw that
the movie.
big band, billboard.
If you nampak the Fosang big billboard, it's still there. It's just that kena lekat stiker besar, postponed. So that movie is called Chris Below the Wind.
What was the experience with that? Is this your first like full length?
Yeah, this is my first feature lah, my first feature film, and it's directed by Katak Chua. Yeah, that word is quite sensitive now. And it's by
Katak, you're very sensitive now.
Yes, Katak. Anyway, so he's the director, and I think I never auditioned for him actually. So I don't know how he picked his talents, but I think maybe he has ideas lah. So there was one character there that's like an macam indigenous Sabahan.
Okay.
Who speaks Chinese a bit and all, because I think he wants to show that, you know, Sabahans are just so multicultural, multiracial, you know, and we multilingual, apa-apa pun boleh cakap. So he needed that character, and he contacted me, and I knew Katak by this time about 4 or 5 years already. And then he said, Hazli, are you okay? Will you be interested to act for this role, for this movie? And I didn't know much about the movie. I said, yeah, sure. Then he said, but there are a lot of Chinese lines. Mandarin lines. It won't be difficult, very simple. We can guide you through the lines. Then I was okay. I said, yeah, no problem. Then after that, I spoke Mandarin to him on the phone. Then he was like, you actually speak Mandarin? I said, yeah, why did you ask me to act for you if you didn't know I speak Mandarin? He said, I cannot think about anyone. So I just want to ask you and try to give you simple Mandarin lines lah. Then she said, okay lah, can already lah, give you lah. So that's how I got the role. I was like, okay, boleh. But the whole experience, looking at a 99% cast and crew made up of Sabahans, kan, you can't help but be so proud and know that there's so many talent that if it's organized properly, kan, like great things happen ba. So macam working with Katak, to me the experience was good because I felt it was very professional. Mana polis limpas? Jangan cakap Katak.
Dah dia dengar.
Okay. Anyway, so yeah, it was very good experience, and then I felt like it's timely lah that we have something like that. And during the pre-screening, that was my first time watching the whole thing. Of course, I cringe when I see myself on screen lah. Like I'm gonna cringe when I watch this also.
I cringe every week.
Oh yeah, at least I cringe one time saja lah. Okay. Then after that, I was like, yeah, so proud of everyone involved. I was so proud of Katak for leading this whole thing, and then I was honored juga lah because like given the opportunity to be part of it, and then it's something that, you know, you can proudly tell people, yeah, it's Sabahan made.
Yeah.
You know, people can take us seriously in this scene, you know.
I was really happy when Chester said it's going to be played in 85 cinemas around Malaysia.
But then they are reducing it to about 60 plus lah.
Kurang asam.
They're all yang decide in terms of cost, I think.
Oh.
Because certain areas, certain cinemas,
you guys decide.
they decide lah.
Okay.
I mean, I have no.
Okay.
I have nothing to say. But
this gang lah,
Yeah.
bukan some other people yang.
yeah,
Aduh.
I mean, like maybe certain cinemas in certain states may not work well lah. So I think that's why, you know, because if you need to screen, you have to have a certain cost involved, kan?
True.
So hearing how the Finas people from KL and everything were responding to the whole thing, they felt very impressed juga lah. So I was also very happy. But it's a very light movie, with also quite, if you look at it, there are some deep meanings to it. But it's a feel-good movie lah. It's a feel-good movie. You just enjoy yourself watching it, and I think as a Sabahan watching it, you're just so happy to see a lot of places that rings a bell. Macam yang, oh, I know this place. Oh, the way they speak, that's how we speak. You know, and then that's how multiracial and harmonious we are in Sabah. And it's shown in a film. So finally, I'm like, yeah, ada something like this to show. I mean, I'm not saying before this ada, tapi it's just that right now a feature, and then nationwide, and then almost fully shot by Sabahans, and almost all the actors Sabahan except for the lead actress saja is from KL. Everyone else is like Sabahan, so that's good.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yay.
Do you want to do this? I mean, acting.
I love acting. Yeah, I love acting, but
Film and theatre ada beza kah?
sangat beza. Very
Macam kau bilang
different.
set up semua tu kan?
Different, yeah. I think the one that is more tiring, I feel, and requires a lot of emotional investment is theatre.
Yeah.
Really a lot. You go to a very dark place sometimes if you have to do certain plays. And for film, because there's a lot of cut and play, right? Theatre, there's no cut and play, ba. You are basically thrown into the ocean and you have to drag the story as that character. So if you, whatever you do on stage, there is no cut.
So if you theatre, if you forget your lines, do you go like, or is there someone like, your line is this one?
Usually, I mean, in certain theatres, they call it there's a prompter to prompt your lines.
Yang keluar dari bawah
Di tepi-tepi lah, tapok-tapok kadang-kadang. But I really don't like that. I really don't like having a prompter.
So what do you do? How do you improvise?
I mean, we have to improvise. So it's always the first thing that you should think about is how would your character react. So that's why it's really more important, not about the lines, but it's really important, penting untuk macam kau kenal your character before you even go on stage.
Oh.
Like you have to know who you are playing. So when you really know, that's why during rehearsals, we don't really rehearse everything over and over and over again. We do a lot of discussions on journal writings, on whatever, because every character has a journal to write sometimes.
Ayyo.
So I mean, so like if my character is like this, right, and then certain days you have to write down what your character feels outside of the rehearsal.
So in that particular journal, when you are writing, it's not you.
It's not you.
But it's the character.
It's the character.
Boleh gila ni.
I mean, that's what we do. That's why we usually have a actor's journal. So your character's journal. So in every play, we will give that out. Actor's journal. So your character, you write. Like I will say, okay, at least in a week, make 2 or 3 entries. Then we will talk about that entry. And then actually as a script writer, you discover a lot of things that you don't see from your actors because they see it by knowing the character. And then so that's why like certain things are more justified in the play. So when you lupa kan, automatically you call upon that character that you have been making friends with. That's why I say it can be very dark, boleh gila. Sometimes if you do a very dark play, then you have to go to those kind of places bah. Like if you in a play you are suicidal, your character is suicidal, your character goes through a lot of internal conflict, a lot of hate. Then in real life you have to understand why your character has so much hate, and the best way is to write it out. So
And then you discover yourself begitu.
yeah, you discover yourself, and then I think that's the best way. Kalau kau lupa, that's your safety net lah. Suddenly the play something goes wrong, you forget something, or something that's supposed to happen, like maybe a thunder should come, but a thunder didn't come. Takkan kau tunggu for the thunder kan? Because those are all technical errors. And then takkan kau mau thunder, oi. Because it's not like sip-sip like Egan where you just go on and don't edit bah. So that one is like you have to like go on until that natural reaction come. So that's why I think it's lovely bah to do theatre ni.
So, mau theatre?
Tapi penat juga lah.
Wow.
But I like acting lah. So film pun, theatre I love to direct. I'm okay to act also lah. But for film I rather act, not direct, because there's too much technicalities.
Yeah.
Too much of camera angle lah, inilah itulah.
Saya mau tanya kau, what kind of film yang kau teringin betul mau act in? What a character that you want to play? Yang betul-betul I don't have to act, like this is what I want to do.
Given the opportunity lah, I mean.
Oh, is this okay?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Yeah? Okay.
Macam no, I'm thinking about it, but I've never gotten the chance to actually act in anything close to it lah. So actually I have a very, if people who watch my plays, everything kan, they know like I'm into all this relationship, friendship kind of plays and all this human relations. I have this inner want to act in a film that has something to do with romance but actually. People wouldn't know this about me, but
Semboy boleh lah.
jangan. But you know, like unconventional relationship stories. It can be like, you know, in Malaysia, what's challenged? Religion is challenged probably. You know, those kind of stories. Or age is challenged. The man is so young, the girl is old. You know, those kind of relationship. But because I'm not an advocate for a lot of things, but I'm an advocate for life and for love saja bah. So that's what I believe in. So macam, that's the kind of film that I really hope like I can get a chance to act in. You know, even if there's an LGBT film, I'm up for it. But of course cannot be screened in Malaysia lah, kena pancung kau. So maybe wherever.
Cons. Wow.
You know, yeah, I'm open. I'm really open because you're just talking about real life
Directors,
stories.
producers out there,
Hire me if you have this story. Yeah,
5%.
I'm trying to write a feature lah. So we'll see if if it's all
Wow.
okay. Yeah, I'm working together with I don't think I can mention who lah, but working together with certain production house. But we are submitting it, and hopefully if it pulls through, then I hope I can hear about it lah. It's also that kind of unconventional love punya story.
Okay, saya beli segway sudah. Oh, okay.
Camera rolling.
Okay, cakap. Unconditional love. Can we go to your mom?
Okay, can.
Saya mau interview mama dia juga apa ni, tapi tengoklah macam mana. Hello auntie. Saya tahu kau tengok ni. You okay with this one?
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay.
Your mom is a single mom.
Mm-hmm.
How is life like that? I mean, growing up, knowing that. I mean, your videos saya nampak kau saja sama dia.
Yeah.
Kamu dua saja?
No, I have a sister juga lah.
Okay.
Elder sister.
Right.
But not as out there in social media like me lah.
Okay. Udah gila sikit lah.
Saya ramble sikit.
Yeah, how was it like? I mean, growing up with a single mom. I mean, I know the struggle is real lah.
I mean, yeah, if you talk about when it all started, I mean, I have a good relationship with my dad. I love my dad juga. It's just that things didn't work out between my mom and my dad. So, they divorced and all that. But anyway, I grew up basically with just my mom and my sister. So it was always the three of us. So initially, of course, you're sad. I was sad that I'm not in a conventional like kind of family where I have a dad and all that with me growing up. But eventually, I think that was the thing. I kept on reminding myself, it's only the three of us all the time, and even up to today, and whenever we are in a tough situation, when my mom, my sister, and I sit together, you know, we will always just say, it's the three of us. If we cannot even love the three of us, then why do we even want to seek for more love? So this is how we looked at life growing up.
It's very nice.
Yeah, it's because you know, life can be so difficult at times. My mom, and then the thing was, I never felt, you know, less loved or not given any attention. I think my mom gave up everything to give all the love and attention she can for my sister and myself to growing up. So macam, that was never lacking. And basically she gave up a lot of her life so that we can have a proper upbringing. And so macam, right now pun, that's why I think that relationship is so strong. Like, I can never imagine not having my mom. So that's why we're very close, very well. And every day right now pun, she's now in my cafe, you know, always every day with me, working with me. So ever since I was in school pun, like whenever I joined any events apa, my mom always there. She was PIBG of my school and everything lagi kan. So basically wherever I was, my mom was there. And even now, wherever I am, my mom is with me. And the thing is, kadang-kadang, like, you know, some people may be malu with all this. Like, terlampau, you know.
Tapi kau budak-budak pernah kau, ya Allah, mom, my mom.
No, I never felt that. I actually always felt very happy to show people that I'm always with my mom. And that's why I don't understand when people cakap malu when the moms are around. Maybe because when the moms come in to, I don't know, probably try to control certain things that the children are doing. But I think that's the thing that my mom did not do. She did not control whatever I wanted to do. She let me do it. And the main thing was she always make sure that I am just safe. So,
Oh.
so I'm like, okay. So I think that's why I have no issue with my mom being around. Or like my mom, like, but sometimes of course lah, kalau saya mau keluar sama kawan mengumpat, I'm like, jangan aku ikut kan. You know? And we want to talk about our generation kind of thing, Sami. Then she will pout and walk off lah. Ya, terus dia jalan dah. Yalah, saya ni tidak cukup lah mau ikut kamu. I said, lain kali saya bawa kau. You know, that kind of thing. But, yeah, so up to today, it's still just the three of us.
Now I miss my mom. When I was in college, that was the time yang I realized like, shit, I need my mom. And balik KK, I realized like, yeah, I got that on camera. And I realized like, because my mom is very opinionated, apa dia nampak dia mau komen, apa dia nampak, kau tengok ba tu yang apa saja. And I was like, Mom, shut up. Begitu ba yang kita lambas ni. And after like the first and second year of college kan, I realized that I cannot change that. And that is the thing yang I miss ni. Yang kalau saya nampak tu barang kan, kalau mami saya nampak memang dia ada opinion dia apa, memang dia mau kutuk ini barang ni, memang dia mau complain. And I didn't realize that was happening in my head. And then balik I learned to appreciate her more lah. And I would spend a lot of time with her lah. And plus the sisters lah. I have 3 sisters. And I guess, I don't know, realizing that you're going to lose something or you lost it makes you appreciate it better.
Yeah.
I mean, saya punya co-host si Ate and si Chin, they lost their moms, and
I mean,
it's
Pandai yo.
yeah, it's a very okay. Cerita macam apa? But yeah, I think in this room we have a very how you say, different dynamics of mom effects.
Yeah.
And end of the day, it's about love lah. And okay, saya mau kasih lighten up sekejap.
yeah.
During the Greenleaf punya time, who made the food yang kena jual di luar? Was that your mom?
Yeah, my mom juga tu.
Because it feels like her ni.
Yeah, I think like we have several occasions where ada food, several occasions yang tiada food. So
Kami kena remind kan lagi, jangan makan di luar, kalau datang sini, beli makanan sini. Itu macam Hazli's mom.
yes, kalau gitu my mom lah tu. Either my mom or some of the other members punya family gitulah. So
When you say your mom's love is like for you and your sister, I feel like your mom's love is like for the whole Greenleaf Association ni.
yeah.
It felt like that ni. Like everyone, dia orang panggil mami kau apa?
Ma'am.
Almost lah kan?
Yeah, almost. Just one letter off lah. But because if they call her mom, I'll be like, that's my mom, go away. Yeah. But, I mean, it's true because all my friends yang in Greenleaf and whoever, even my colleagues who are working together with me, running our businesses together, semua very close with my mom.
Yes.
So they will have their conversations with my mom that I don't know of. So like, which is, yeah, I'm like, okay, you know. But anyway, but to a certain extent, it's heartwarming lah. Like, and then I think I'm just more thankful that then I realize how, lucky I am and blessed I am to have a mom that's just so warm and open to people, that people would just want to talk to her about their problems. And the thing about my mom, she never judge anyone. So macam, because people from that generation they have their own opinion about a lot of things.
Yes.
So I have friends who went through, decisions that they made that it's difficult, and then sometimes they are afraid that their own parents may not accept them. then when they talk to my mom, it's like they get a certain form of comfort lah, I feel, because my mom will just accept. So my mom has been accepting me for everything that I am, for everything that, all the decisions that I have made. As long as, you know, it's very simple. I think life is so simple. It's like, as long as you don't hurt anyone, you don't cause trouble for other people, and you try to take care of yourself in the whole process, I think that's how simple life is. It's just that people complicate life. You know, everything pun mau gaduh, everything pun mau get back at people. Yeah, so like you said lah, like right now is, my mom is 70 years old kan? So
Really?
she's 70 years old. She turned 70 this year.
Punya muda.
Yeah, I mean like, yeah,
Okay. I thought you're not supposed to mention like a woman's age or something.
yeah. But I think she's proud also
Yeah,
of her age. I'm
she
proud
should
of her
be.
age, and then how much she has taken care of herself and then everything. But you know, when your mom reaches that age, kan, you cannot help but sometimes think of other things.
True.
You know, and then those are times when, you know, at home you have such a good day with your mom, everything, and she goes home and you see her tired pun kau boleh nangis ba, because you're like, she's 70 ba.
Yeah.
Then yet she's still so tired doing all these things, tapi at the same time juga macam you feel she likes doing that. And if I take away that whole peluang kan, her opportunity of her doing things that she wants to do, that's even worse. And if I can take that away and then not experience that moment with her, I will regret it. So that's why people usually say, kau pergi mana holiday, kau pergi mana? I will always go holiday with my mom. So people will be like, kau tidak kah pergi like enjoy sama kawan and all that? I said, pergi juga, but whatever chance I can get to holiday with my mom, I go holiday with my mom. You see, so because you cannot think, avoid thinking like, how many more years do I have this?
True.
Because every day eventually we're going to lose the person we love. That's not something we can avoid. It's going to happen. So macam, the worst is you just knowing that it's going to happen one day, but you basically just let it naturally happen and don't do anything in between ba. I think that's the heartbreaking part lah for a lot of people. Yeah, I don't want to be there lah.
Auntie si Hazli sayang kau tahu. Like I can feel it right now.
Saya tahan break ni sekarang ah, jangan kau ah.
Sampai
Saya
sini.
tahan betul my break sekarang ni, kau jangan.
Few days ago, I saw this video of Hazli. I think siapa yang fans of Hazli pun atau followers of Hazli ada nampak this very, I don't know what to call that video. It triggered a lot of emotions, a lot of mixed emotions, and I'm sad, I'm happy, proud at the same time. I can tell you the biggest, just like how I commented in the video lah, it's beyond my vocabulary ability. Setiap boleh itulah tulis type, oh Hazli, you're inspiring, blah, blah, blah. This sounds stupid, delete lagi, macam beliau. And I'm shocked that you have been facing all this. Okay lah, jangan cerita banyak lah. How I mean, you told your story juga kan in that video.
Yeah.
What apa namanya tu barang?
The condition?
The condition.
Yeah, so it's called SLE, systemic lupus erythematosus. So yeah, these people refer it to as lupus lah.
And how dangerous is it? I mean, for people yang tidak tahu.
Okay, well, lupus basically it's categorized as a chronic, meaning to say it's prolonged, right?
Okay.
Chronic autoimmune disease. So what happens with lupus is this disease attacks your healthy organs in the body. So meaning to say it can randomly attack anything in the body. You don't know.
Okay.
And how dangerous it is? Well, that's the thing. There is no answer to that. Like a lot of people can lead somewhat a normal life,
Okay.
but a lot of people also have not lived a normal life. So it really depends how severe the lupus is in the body, and it really depends on how well you control the triggers to lupus. So because I think a lot of people don't understand it, and then because a lot of people who have it, they continue on with life very normally, that's why, you know, a lot of people don't make it through. But at the same time, you know, people have learned to control it. So I think there's no cure. You cannot cure lupus. You can keep it under control and it can go dormant. Dormant meaning to say you don't see signs of it. You don't see signs of it and all, but it's like a sleeping volcano lah. If you make a mistake and you trigger it and it attacks an organ in the body, then you have to face that issue. Because what happens is when lupus attacks an organ, you cannot cure lupus, but you have to fix the organ that it has attacked. That's all you can do. So meaning to say, kalau they attack your heart, then you have to go and fix your heart lah, like any other heart patient. So
Dia ni macam penyakit yang sangat anak bulan begitulah. I can be anything.
yes, I can attack anything I want. So you don't know like what it will attack. Your nerve system, they will attack your nerves and your whatever. Then you basically just cannot walk lah tiba-tiba. Gitulah lupus.
And I was googling it, and then I see a lot of hemorrhaging.
Okay, yeah.
Is that it's the skin begitu?
Yeah, skin. So we have this thing called the lupus butterfly. So it's this thing here. It comes out, it's red, and then up to here lah. It's like a rash, but it's really just red, and then macam your skin goes very dry and flaky and apa. Macam bengkak merah lah. So you can, that's what we call the lupus butterfly. When I initially was diagnosed with lupus, so this was like in 2009. Towards the end of 2009 when I got diagnosed with lupus, and that time the butterfly was quite severe lah on my face. So that's the time when I hid from people, I hid from my friends. I didn't want people to see me because basically it's as bad as your face just bleeds and everything. And then people who don't understand, like I was doing events for Greenleaf at all one time, and then a lot of triggers happen lah, because I'm not supposed to be under the sun. I'm not supposed to be too stressed. A lot of things you cannot do because then you trigger your immune system and your immune system goes crazy. Macam kau kasih bangun orang yang gila ba. Kau kasih bangun dia, like the orang gila now is your immune system that's supposed to help you.
Okay.
So if I fall sick or if I become unhealthy apakah, and my immune system wakes up to go and help me, that's the scary part lah. So I have to try my best to not to fall sick.
Okay.
I have to try my best to jarang demam, jarang sakit, because that's when the immune system kicks in, and then instead of destroying the enemy, it destroys other things. So doing all these events apa dulu Greenleaf, like I have friends who like sini nampak berlari, and then they'll be like, "Ui, kenapa muka Hazli berdarah tu?"
It will like literally.
It will just bleed because my butterfly comes, but people do that, they don't understand it. So even friends, they don't understand it. So during those times, they will laugh about it lah. They'll be like, "Nah, kenapa berdarah sudah kau punya muka tu?" That kind of thing. And then they will make fun lah. Macam Pikachu kau, that kind of thing lah. But I will just take it in lah, because I cannot blame them. They don't understand. But at the same time, this is where I feel like other things about how we judge other people by not understanding is the thing that we need to slowly change lah. Like even body shaming lah, all this whatever lah, you know. At that point of time, I'm like so thin because of my condition. People with lupus can very hardly put on mass, put on muscle. And I want to prove that wrong. So that's why lah, I went through whatever my journey it is lah, to get myself, you know, at least looking decent and everything. And people always make fun of how I look, like, kurus betul lah, apalah, macam penagih dada lah. I get that a lot. So macam, growing up, I get that a lot. And then, again, because people don't understand my condition. And I never talked about it pun kan. So, they don't need to know lah. But at the same time, where did that come from? Those kind of comments come from? Yeah. So that's basically lupus lah, in a nutshell. I mean, like, if you wanted to know what it does. Yeah.
So, what was going on in your head? Like, because throughout the years, since I know you, the green leaf, and until the day, a few days ago when I saw that video, you were doing a lot of epic things. I mean, you joined that pageant thing. You made a film. I mean, this is like crazy living to the fullest, ba. Was that somehow relates to the thought that you had this?
Yeah, it is. I mean, like, a lot of times people ask me that question, like, last time, why do you do all these things? How do you do this? But because I've never openly talked about my condition, it has a lot to do with the decisions I made. Every time I saw something that, you know, I have a little bit of thought saja, like, I should do this. Should I try this? I feel like I want to try this. Or, macam, sure. Then, each time I have reservations, then I'll be like, besok kau boleh mati tau. Then I just go do it.
You really
Yeah.
synced it in lah about death.
It took me some time, because when I was first diagnosed with it, I really was so, I don't know, I mean, like, imagine you're just going through your life like normal, and suddenly one day something happened. So yeah, I just went home, I collapsed. Then after that, the next day when I woke up, I couldn't move my legs. I was crawling in my own condo using my arms saja, because basically my legs will not respond. I'm like, what's wrong? What's happening to me? You know, of course you're scared. But at the same time, you know, like, I was like, who do I call? I could have called a lot of people, but I decided not to, because I don't like getting people involved in my problems. That's how I have always been. So I said, okay, you know, let me just rest it out and everything. So eventually I could slowly, like, move my legs again. And then I brought myself to the...
How many hours did you wait for this to move your legs?
No, the next day, 2 days.
Oh shoot.
So actually I was like, you know, how stubborn can you be lah? You know, like, I think something is really wrong. So, saya makan biskut je dalam time tu, because I cannot even go up the kitchen kan.
Oh. Okay.
So, I mean, like, I think about orang bodoh.
Are you naturally stubborn?
I am very stubborn.
Okay.
I am a very stubborn person, especially when it comes to taking care of myself. In terms of, if I can do something, solve something, I will want to do something myself. I want to solve it myself. You see, so, because saya tidak suka nampak orang susah pasal saya ba. I didn't want that at all. So, what happened itulah, then eventually I was okay, but then I started coughing. When I started coughing, there were traces of blood. And I'm like, okay, this is not right. This is seriously not right.
Like, just after the leg thing?
Yeah. Like, just after, or macam ngam-ngam mau okay gitu, I started coughing, and I felt very difficulties in breathing sudah. So, I was like, something is not right. Jugalah lagi. So, I really went to the clinic, and doctors, of course, they wouldn't know it's lupus lah, whatever. So, then they said, oh, macam there's some issues with your heart gitulah, so you have to go for proper check. Then I didn't tell the doctors about me cannot walk and all that. So then I felt that time, I thought, this is something different ni. You know, because you know your own body.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I don't think this is quite normal. So what I did was, with whatever money I had at that time, because I was still a student, but I was working already lah juga while I'm studying, I decided to go out of Malaysia to get a review.
Okay.
Because I didn't want to have any medical records in Malaysia.
Okay.
For a lot of things, I was thinking about insurance lah, whatever lah. So I was like, okay, let me just go out of Malaysia. Then when I went to this other place, I think, I don't want to talk where I went and everything lah, huh? So I just went to this other country in this particular hospital and checked and then did the test and whatnot. Then the doctor told me that, you know, I have lupus lah. So at first I was like, oh, lupus? What the hell is lupus? You know, like I've never heard. In Malay, lupus means expire kan? Tarik lupus kan, luput sudah. I was like,
Oh my god.
are you telling me that my body is expired? So I'm like, then the doctor explained to me what it is and then like how to understand what I'm facing. I think the moment the doctor told me it's incurable, my mind already like started to go blank. Because I was like, how am I supposed to tell my family about this? How am I supposed to talk about this to my friends? Then when he said that, you know, it will slowly kill off your organs one by one if you don't take care of your body and everything. And I'm like, how is that even real? And you know, it's 90% of lupus patients are women. So I'm like, okay lah, I'm the lucky 10% lah. In this case, so you know, now I talk about
How
it.
is this
Actually,
funny?
I can just like maybe I think I'm trying to make it a bit more light. But at that time, macam you're just thinking about your life and then like, okay, what have I not done? What have I done? And I was like, how can, and my, you know, I can't burden my family to think about my medical fees, no, let's not even talk about the medical fees and the cost. You know, it's like I've been going reviews out of Malaysia for so long, even up to last year. I've never gone for any treatment in Malaysia at all for lupus, zero up to now, because I don't want to have any records, but now it's out there, right? So yeah, it's out there now. But that's why at that point of time also I work long hours, and one of the trigger of lupus is stress. I shouldn't be so stressed, but my life at that point of time is up by 5 a.m, out to work and back at 2 a.m, and up at 5 again, because I work and I study at the same time. And that point of time is a lot of money that I got was a lot to do with just trying to get my life and my health back. And then when there was no cure and anything, then, and there was not much understanding of lupus at that time, then I tried to understand the point of what are the triggers of lupus. So that's another reason why I changed a lot of my lifestyle. I changed my lifestyle. I started going more, taking, you know, exercising more seriously. I ate very healthy and all. A lot, that has a lot to do with my condition lah, actually, which I never talked about. So deciding to do all the things that I do, yang gila-gila, whatever lah, like I decided to go for bodybuilding stuff lah, everything lah, go compete lah, pakai seluar dalam, naik pentas, atas pentas, all these things. It's like do semi-naked photo shoots lah, all these things. Is like, okay, kasih limpas dulu tuh.
Itu bukan yang pasal kata.
Itu bukan. Okay, so it's a lot to do with that, like living for that initial few years of my life kan, yang macam there might be a day you wake up and you like that, just gone. It's crazy lah. It's just crazy. And I got so used not talking to people about it juga, that, you know, I never thought of like, why do I need to say anything? And doctors told me that time, kalau people who don't control their lupus, you know, 30 years old, 30 plus years old, you're gone. I think this doctor quite brutal juga lah kan.
Very
cakap.
real.
But then I think I'm very happy that the doctor was so direct to me juga lah. Because if you don't get shit together,
Yeah.
basically 30 you're gone. Because at that point of time, they have detected that lupus has already attacked my heart. So it's not really about the trigger of lupus that you're afraid of, it's the accumulated damage that it has. So basically, right now, here, I have a damaged heart, a damaged pancreas. Yeah, basically those two things lah has already been attacked by lupus. So all you can do is like try to be positive and live with it lah, I think. And not complain about it, because complaining never helps anything. So I never complained about it lah. That's why I never spoke about it until last year when I decided to open up to my closest friends and my mom lah juga. Was when I decided to like, okay, maybe I can just tell them, not because of anything, but because I was given up to 30, right? Last year I turned 30 and I'm still alive. So I think that means something.
So when you hit 30, it was like in your head,
I cried.
ada celebration.
Yeah, I when I reached 30, I just cried. Not because of midlife crisis, but because I was like,
Midlife survival.
I'm alive, bah.
God.
I'm alive, bah. Like, you know. And then a lot of people, but then that's why I said, it's also shown that a lot of people can live 40, 50, 60 with lupus normally. It really, really depends how you control that trigger and how you control the damage that has already been done. So that's why, like, knowing what damage I already have in my body, I have to really be careful lah of certain things.
Do you have like a statistic of like heart berapa persen sudah?
Oh,
Do you do that? I mean, I feel like you're that kind of person.
I didn't really do statistic lah, but I mean like I had
But you
some
gauge lah.
Yeah, I mean like I had some procedures done lah. So like for my heart, it's like I don't want to believe it's that bad, but you know like because they kind of try to fix it lah.
Okay.
So like there were certain parts of my arteries that they had to stent, they had to like masuk the tube and do a lot, kasi fix the heart that goes through my heart to my heart and all that. And then the pancreas I was on medication lah, because just to fix that. And you know, occasionally when we do check again everything, and then of course there are scars, everything there will be scars, but is it functioning normally according to tests? Yes, you know, it is functioning normally, but I know myself, like it's not as normal as how it should be lah, or it could be, because it has already been damaged. You were already coughing blood bah. So like how normal can that be? Tapi itulah, you know, you don't want to really talk about it much. And yeah.
Can I ask, because you were, can I call it disguising? You were disguising it so well. Why decide to tell? I mean, it's okay kalau kau tengok.
No, I mean, I'm okay. Tapi, okay, so yeah, for the past, I was fighting with myself for the first few years of like, should I tell? Should I not tell?
Yeah.
But you know, you just see people around you happy, not having to worry about something extra, and that everyone has their own worries already. I think it's more of me, why do I need to create an extra worry for the people around me? I can handle this. So it's not like they can do anything also. Buat apa kau mau kasih susah orang? That's what I always tell myself. So that's why I never said anything to anyone. And then another thing is because I didn't want people to treat me differently because I had a condition. I mean, there are a lot of people out there who have conditions that are more serious than mine. And you know, they fight it every day. So it's not a competition or comparison also. But it's just that whatever struggles you go through. So I always remind myself there are people also out there going through tougher things, you know. and they fight. So as long as I fight, it's okay. So I mean, there were points of time when, you know, financially it's so difficult. Like, how do I pay my checkups? How do I pay my medical fees? I wasn't really working. I was a student. I had to work extra hours, which I'm not supposed to because I have lupus. And how? But I don't know. Somehow I just continued not to tell. And somehow I just continued to find ways to make myself able to take care of myself. And then I decided last year, mainly because I was already surrounded with so many people that I love. I keep the people that I care for so close to me, and people that I know around me pun, I've met a lot of, you know, people who not necessarily are the closest with me pun, but a lot of good people. And I turned 30 last year. I think that was the main mark. Like I told you, when I turned 30, I mean, even right now, like, you know, I'm turning 31 soon. And every day you wake up and you're like, that feeling of, yeah, you're still on earth. You still have a chance to make another day better than the previous. So macam, then when I turned 30, I think I was overwhelmed by the whole, I think, by life itself. So then I told myself, like, okay, maybe I can talk about this, because I've proven that I can control it for the past 10 years. And I still did a lot of things that I wanted to do without having to use my condition as an excuse. Like, oh, you cannot do this because you have lupus, or you cannot do that, but I just did what I need to do. So I decided to tell my friends and my mom. So I remembered, like, yeah, it was so difficult to tell them. Like, it took me almost half an hour just to say what I had.
Did you like gather them together gitu?
No, it's more like individual sessions. And then there was one time, yes, we did have a gathering with very close friends and family.
Sorry.
And then that was the time when I just openly said it to all of them. And the love you get, kan, then you realize yang there's so much love around you. People appreciate. I remember telling my mom, we were having lunch, and then I told my mom that, you know, Mom, there's something I wanted to tell you. I want to tell you something. Then she looked at me, and then she knew it was serious, because my face was serious lah. So when I told her, I said, so yeah, Mom, I just want you to know that I'm alright, and there's something that I have been living with for the past 10 years, that was last year, and now I want to share it with you. Then my mom, I can see that she was already, the fear in her eyes was already there. And that was what I wanted to avoid, you know, cause the fear in people's eyes and everything. And so I just told my mom, yeah, so Mom, and my sister was there too. My sister was there, she didn't know, of course she also didn't know anything, because I never told anyone. So I said, alright, so I have a chronic disease called lupus. Then my mom looked at me. I think because my sister and my mom don't know what's lupus. And you see, that's how clueless people are about this condition.
Yeah.
And before I could even explain what it was, she just broke down. My mom just cried. And I think that was what I was avoiding the past 10 years. I was avoiding the past 10 years because of I didn't want to like go through that. So I waited for 10 years to face it. I actually see it more of that. That, you know, it was hiding, yes, but it was more of running away from what I needed to face. So when I told her I had lupus, then after that she cried. Then I explained to them what it was and what damage I have gone through already. Because I had my final procedure done to my heart last year actually. And that was also when I turned 30. So it was just 1 week before my birthday, I was coughing blood again. And then I think that's why it was so emotional. I was coughing blood again 1 week before I turned 30. And then because I woke up in the morning, I remember it's middle of the night. And that time was I couldn't breathe at all. So I had a cardiac arrest. But I just thought to myself that time, no, I don't want to die. This is not my time. I'm not going to die. So I eventually passed out because I couldn't breathe. But then I woke up.
Holy shit.
So I was like, okay. Then I said, I need to go to check again. So that's when I went to check, did everything. Then I spent my birthday in 3 different places, 3 different countries with different friends because I just wanted to clear my mind and okay, I'm 30, I survived, but that's why when I came back, I was like, I need to talk. I need to tell those I love so that at least they wouldn't be left in the dark if anything happens, because something could have happened. It was almost happening already. So when I told my mom, and then I remember I told her, yeah, so I'm fine now. I did my procedure, everything. I'm back, I'm okay. And my mom looked at me and then she said, Sio, sorry. Then I'm like, why are you sorry? Why are you sorry? Sorry that I didn't know and I couldn't be there to really help you with this. Tell me now, what can I do to make this better? Is there anything that mommy can do to make this go away? And when your mom says that to you, because mothers, they just want to fix anything they can for their kids. So I told her, Mom, you have no idea how you being you and having you as a mom has kept me alive up to today. There's nothing that anyone can do to take this condition away. But whatever that has been done by all of you that's important to me has kept me alive. And that's a fact. And then my mom just took my hand, took my sister's hand, my sister took my hand, and she said those words again. It's just the 3 of us. And I was, it's not about the numbers, it's about really just knowing how much love you want to give to the person that you are with. So that's why I say people are fighting their own battles. I'm not an advocate for lupus, okay? Meaning to say I'm not okay, people, you must be aware of lupus, be understanding towards people who have lupus. No, I'm not an advocate for a lot of things, but like I say, simple, I just believe in life and in love. Because a lot of death, a lot of negativity is caused by people who go with hate. People who don't appreciate love. And that's why it's even worse than dying, in my opinion. So after that, I opened up to my friends, and a lot of them, the first thing they say is, I'm sorry. And I really feel like you don't have to be sorry. You don't have to be. And then some of them who made fun of my face, berdarah and all that, they were like, Hazli, Hazli, I'm such a bad friend. I didn't know. I said, no, yeah, you didn't know. And it's not your fault. And I never blame you, because at the end of the day, yeah, we make fun of each other and everything, but whenever I needed someone, you guys were there. You guys were there, and then no matter what I did, there was no judgment involved. We are always friends. So I said, like, the whole point was, I said, I'm opening up to all of you as a celebration of life. Because I'm alive because of all of you. That's what I said when I opened up to all of them. Even when during our small gathering. Like, I'm celebrating life. And I think all of us has something to celebrate about our own lives. And I hope everyone starts doing that. I think that's the reason why I talked about it. And the reason why I posted that video pula was, I didn't want to open up about it, but everything I went through was always on my own. A few weeks ago, in the cafe, I got a cardiac arrest in front of my friend and my mom. For the first time, it happened in front of some people that I love, in front of someone. And when that happened and I collapsed in my cafe, my friend came running and he was lost. Kevin lah, my friend. He didn't know what to do. He was so scared. I couldn't say anything because basically each time I moved or tried to breathe, my heart just goes tighter and tighter and tighter. And then my mom came running in. God bless her. She was so in control. She didn't scream, she didn't shout, she didn't cry. She took me, she held me, she said, Hazli, listen to mommy. Listen to my voice. You are with me now and you will be okay. Right? I remembered blacking out, and then my mom just told my friend what to do. Okay, keep his body warm him up. Come, let me, and then because that, I immediately told myself, like, you again, Hazli, you are not going to die today. Not yet. Not yet. But when that all happened in front of me, that was exactly the thing that I wanted to avoid. I wanted to avoid seeing the people around me in pain or having to deal with my condition. But it just happened, and I'm like, I couldn't run away from it. So they told me, just then after that, then few weeks later, they said, okay, you just go off. We'll handle the whole cafe. We want you to go, don't come to work. So they all allowed me to go KL and just run away from work. Just they wanted me to clear my mind, relax. And also that was when I started having conversations with myself, like, how is this with other people back? And then the day after I got this attack, suddenly, like, there's this guy called the Six Pack Chef from Toronto, Canada. He wanted place in Top Chef in Canada. He posted about his journey fighting cancer for 13 years, eye cancer. He's very young. Then that really struck me. Like, a person from all the way there, fighting his own battle, and then he's opening up about it, and then I'm empowered. So I wrote him a message through IG, and I said, you don't know who I am, but you made me want to fight for life even more. And you made me feel like it's okay to be vulnerable. And he wrote back, He wrote back, he said, you know, your story, because I told him what happened, has been going in my mind the whole day. The whole day I cannot stop thinking about your story. And then he told me that, you know, you never know how your weakness, our battles can be the strength for another person that we don't know.
True.
So that's when I was like, all right, you know, I need to talk about this. So that's when it slowly, from that day, it took almost close to a month for me to take up enough courage to just put that camera there and speak to it. But hearing myself say it, and even the video when I posted it, I deleted too a few times. Post, delete, and then I just post and I went to sleep. So I was so scared. I was so scared to like throw it out there. But I did lah. So that was how that whole video came about. And that's how like I opened up about my condition lah. And then right now I got a lot of messages from people I don't know. All sharing their stories. Their different conditions, not just lupus. And talking about how much they just want to appreciate life and love as it is. And then how much they relate to what I'm going through. And then when they see me talking about it, they realize that they're not alone. It makes me feel like it was the right thing to do. Because then somehow you help another person just like how that person helped me. Yeah.
What the hell, dude?
But for 10 years lah, you know, I just diam. And a lot of
Yeah,
people were
man.
like,
10 years, bah.
people were like, we never noticed anything. I was like, yeah.
Saya flu setengah jam, so saya komplain sama si N. Sayang, saya tak boleh watch it.
Aduh. Except for the fact that they see my face bleeding lah. Itu dong nampak lah. Then they're like, so itu kah tu? I said, yeah, itulah tu.
Oh, man. There's something die inside terus dah. Kalau I made fun of my friend.
Orang mengetahui sudah perasaan begitu.
But good to know they're forgiven lah.
Huh?
Good to know they're forgiven lah.
Yeah lah. Okay. I mean, like I was
safe.
I was never angry at them lah. You know, I was never angry at them. It's just more of takut how it will affect people. You know, the imagination of going to the hospital and then having people wanting to go and jaga you, then make them go and take kau minta orang tengok kau, urus kau. I cannot tahu. So that's why when I went to hospital pun and to do my procedures I go outside of the country. So I'm just alone, I'm just there. So kalau saya di hospital 3 hari pun saya satu orang tak.
So independent lah.
Maybe, I think so. I try to be.
You are.
Hazli Igad.
Ya bukan.
Really, man?
Kau independent ba?
Seriously. Oh, ya, apa saya mau cakap sekarang ni? Soalan?
Terus gitu. Dan mulai pula.
This is beyond respect, man. This is... Hey. This should be a film on its own. And you're not an advocate. I mean, look what you've done. Wih, lama sangat nih.
Lama.
Dari jam
Macam mana kau mau edit tu?
Peduli.
Oh my god. Mati orang.
Hazli,
But yeah, anyway, you see like there was one time satu event tu, one college they did a fundraising bah. Then the person cari me, can you MC for our fundraising? And then it's like a dance event gitu. I said, okay, boleh bah. Suddenly dia bilang, yeah, our fundraising is for SLE. Saya terdiam ah. So I was like, okay, boleh bah. Then I went. That was in 2014 kah? In Suria Sabah. So that time kan, nobody knew everything kan. I diam saja. I was like, I was talking about the condition, and then like inviting people to share about the condition, while I am also a person with the condition. But I just kept quiet.
Okay, during these times, kan, were you acting? Did another persona came out like, I am this, I am the MC, I am strong, I am not that, I am different.
I think yes, there is.
How do you keep composure?
I don't know. It's like it just happened begitu bayang bila datang to event kan, and then you'll be like, okay, I'm MC lah. Okay, we're doing some fundraising for SLE. Terus saya okay, terus di rumah sendiri breakdown lah. Baru like, okay, boleh lah ni, just go.
So how do you feel now? I mean, knowing that your friends, I mean, now everyone knows. Is it like, yalah, as cliche as it may sound, the burden sudah.
I mean, there is a certain weight off the shoulders, but I wouldn't say a lot because I've been used to live with it without talking, but it's more of I feel more connected to people. Sometimes when you use vulnerability, you actually find your strength juga. Like you allow yourself to be vulnerable, and I think that was what I went through, and I allowed myself to go through, just to be vulnerable and to tell people, yeah, I have something, and I'm not exactly the healthiest person, because a lot of people are like, fit kau, okay kau, senang kau, gitu, and I'm like,
Kan, like I have that idea like, oh ni tanggap senang model banyak duit.
and I mean that's why when people come to me and they're like, badan kau kau senang kan, kau training tu lah, patutlah kau ni boleh train badan begitu. And I was like, if you just knew, but it is okay. Because I said again, SLE, one of the things is very hard to put on muscle mass. So hard because our recovery and all is not that good bah. So macam,
So how do you train?
you have to work 10 times harder than the normal person. So meaning to say you have to eat much better,
Normal
you
person.
have to sleep much better, you have to train smarter. So a lot of things you just have to do much more than other people. So itulah kadang-kadang I pergi shooting because SLE people cannot be under the sun too long, boleh mati. Suddenly if you're too much under the sun, I know SLE patients under the sun terus just die bah.
Okay lah, kasi ano lah.
Kasih rap.
Ayo, okay, this is. Ui. If tanya Dr. Pravin is watching this, you need to cover ini lupus and re-educate KK folks or Sabah folks about this, and we need more awareness because siapa pun tidak tahu apa ni barang. I mean, I've heard the name before, but I never put any thought on it. Hazli, thanks for this.
Thank you for having me.
Blank sial. And all this while, saya pergi tempat kau, pergi shoot and see you work out and everything's fine. I mean, that's just a few months, weeks yang saya betul-betul nampak kau bekerja. Imagine 10 years, man. You've been through a lot. You went to hell and back.
More or less juga lah.
I mean, I can imagine those days yang, that you did mention like how tiring it is to keep this to yourself. I mean, honestly, I don't know how you feel. I have no idea how you feel, but I've kept my rape story for a very long time, and I know how it feels to keep these kind of things like from people's knowledge. And if only I can tell you now how I feel.
It's very hard kan?
Yeah.
If people ask me how you feel, you'll be like, because it's been such a long time that you have been thinking, going through that whole thing kan, the emotions are so complex sudah. Kalau kau tanya saya, am I scared? Scared. Are you happy? I'm happy, I have people around me. Are you sad? I'm sad juga lah. So like,
Ayo.
how to say how you feel? It's more that I've come to a point where, yes, I have this.
So what? Can
Just-
you say that?
Yes, I can. So what? Just going to live my life. Just going to live my life. And that's why a lot of people say, when people say live your life to the fullest, kan, I've been trying to do that every day.
Oh, did you watch Tuesdays with Mori?
Belum.
Tuesdays
tidak.
with siapa tu ah? Mori
Tuesdays.
nama tu. So this guy has some kind of disease lah, and dia bagi tahu lah the closest friends everyone yang dia akan, yalah, he's going to pass lah nanti one day. Dia tahu bila. So in secret, oh, Hodi. So in secrecy, dia invite, dia suruh dia punya assistant, dia macam ada PA begitu bah, inform semua tu orang datang pergi rumah because there's a funeral. So semua orang datang pergi rumah dia, si Mori pergi rumah dia. I think his name is Mori. Pergi rumah dia, nangis, pakai hitam and everything, and there's a coffin there. Next to the coffin is him. And he was like, this is so nice, man.
He can to see his own funeral.
Yeah, I get to see my own funeral. I never, people never see their own funeral, dia bilang kan. I mean, no offense. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I get it.
yeah. I mean, and I felt like I want to do that nih.
Yeah.
Like, but
People will think it's an ass move lah,
ya
kan.
bodoh lah kan. And yeah, everyone was angry, but at the same time they were happy that he's still there, and they really decided like, macam dia, I'm not so sure siapa yang really close to him that time, and they just decide to like spend more time with him until dia betul-betul tiada sudah. So that was like a very hallmark kind of movie, and very gut wrenching jugalah. Saya tahu kenapa cerita tu. Aduh.
But it's a nice movie. Now I hear
Yeah,
about it.
it's like you lah. I really felt that because this 10 years you were celebrating every single freaking day when you wake up. Kan, I can imagine that.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. You're thankful every day lah.
saya kadang-kadang saya bangun pagi, shit, dia ada presentation, damn it, presentation belum siap, and yalah, I start complaining. I need to live life. Oh my god. Okay, comments down below. You know the drill, but yeah, like every other episode, like this episode is really special. This episode, if you have friends yang kuat complain about life, tell them to click on this and listen. Kenapa lah kalau dia 2-3 jam?
Part 2 bahkan kau buat.
Yeah, this might be like part 2. Anything you want to add?
No, I think no. I'm good.
Kamu orang ada apa mau tambah?
I'm good.
Oh my god. Okay.
I'm good.
This has been a really interesting night. Ya kita lah, we just end here lah. Comment lah apa-apa. Don't go to me if you want to comment on how not to complain about life. This is the person, not me. I bitch every day. Maybe besok ada kurang sikit lah because of tonight. Okay lah. This is Sip Sip with Egan ending now. Bye.
Bye bye.